What up, y'all? Voltage Controller here with Octatrack Sketchbook. In this episode, we're going to demystify the Crossfader. I'm going to show you the traditional beat repeat stuff because I know some of y'all came here for that, but we're going to take it beyond that. I'm going to show you some other creative ways to use the Crossfader for transitions and also to kind of have some controlled randomness, to move your compositions and your performance along. So, no backstory. We're just going to get right into it. So we're going to start, hit bank, and then we're going to go to a new pattern. Function and page, make sure we have 64 steps. All good with that. So next up, we're going to set up our machine. So we have on track 4, we have a static machine and another static machine and yet another static machine. Over here we have, there was a through machine, but we'll get to that later. We're going to put a static machine over here and another one and one more. You know what, actually I'm going to change some of these. I'm going to make a couple of these flex machines. So make that one a flex and that one a flex. See, I told you this is going to be very non-linear. So yeah, just a fly on the wall right now. So let's get back into it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select the drum loop from the puzzle sound pack. And for this tutorial, I'll keep it simple. I'm just going to pick just a basic drum loop to showcase some of the performance effects. So let's find a loop. Nope. Nah. Nope. Nah. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. All right, so we got our loop. All right, let's set this loop up. All right, we're going to stop it and let's lay down a trig. And unless we're making disco, I'm going to slow this down because I feel like I'm getting ready to do like a Donna Summer remix or something. So we can get this in hip hop zone, 92 BPM. And so it's going to be the foundation energy. And let's get into it, start mangling this sound and getting these effects together. All right, so now we're on the LFO page. And the LFO is controlling effects number 1, which is in the default filter, low pass filter. So let's go into the LFO and you can see it's messing with the filter base. We're going to change the wave shape of the LFO to random. Change the speed a little bit. You can hear it starting to mess with the base width of the filter. We're just dialing in this effect. Once we get it all dialed in, we're gonna turn it off and hook it up to the fader. So this is where we can get some randomness where we kind of know what the sound's gonna do, but we don't know exactly what it's gonna do, when we start, hooking it up to the fader. So it's gonna keep adjusting this. I'm messing with the depth on the fader. Okay, so we have that all set up. So now we're going to move the crossfader over and hold A. And now we're going to start, wiring this up to scene A of the fader so we can transition from scene B to scene A and control this effect. So, it does have some randomness in it, but we can control when the randomness gets turned on and off. So let's check it out. So now we're going to push this a little bit further. So we're going to go to track 8, which is our master track. And we're going to add we're going to go and add a comb filter to this effect. So now I'm just going to dial in, the frequency of the comb filter of this effect. And, we're going to add that into those filter sweeps we were doing with the LFO. So, let's just get this sounding right first and then we'll move on and combine them. And there's no real science to this. It's just about, it's just like when you cook and you just season to taste. You're not going to do it certain measurements and all that. You just kind of tweaking the frequencies until it sounds and feels right. So now that we got our frequencies right, we can hold A again on the crossfader, and wire this up and mix it with the other effect, and then we have our performance effect. So let's check it. That's with the effect. Back to scene B, it's the dry state, it's the wet state, and it's unpredictable. All right, let's tweak LFO 3 a little bit. We're going to change this to, let's see, filter, where's it at? Yeah, the filter Q, which is the resonance. So now we'll automate that too and add that to our effect. Actually, no, I'm gonna change that to filter. I'm looking for filter width, actually. Where's it at? Depth. Was that it? Not width. There we go. I want the effect to be a little bit more drastic from the A state to the B state. And we're gonna change to a square wave, that way we have like an off and an on state. Alright, so now that we got that dialed in, we're gonna hold A again on scene A. And then we're gonna hook that up to the crossfader also and add that to our performance effect. So this will be one approach. I'm gonna show you another approach after this though. Okay, I'm gonna add one more element. Go to the SRC page, and we're gonna add some retrigs to scene A. So hold scene A, and we're gonna dial in maybe 3. No, I think maybe 4 or 5 retrigs, just to give this crossfader transition some other random options. When you pull the crossfader over, you never know when you're gonna get a retrig from that parameter lock that we just did. It's kind of like a random chance of getting it. So yeah, this is approach number 1. I'm gonna show you another approach to hooking up the crossfader for performance effects. So let's get into that. So we're gonna go back to the LFO page, double tap to get to LFO number 1. I'm gonna increase the depth on the pitch of the sample, and we're gonna change the waveform. I think I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the square. Let's keep it moving. Yeah, go with the square just to get some drastic pitch shifts. But it's time stretched, so it's still gonna be in time. So LFO 2. We're gonna go to the equalizer. So go back to LFO, double click LFO 2, and increase the depth. But we're gonna change that from pitch. So now we're gonna start automating different frequencies in the DJ EQ. Just to help mangle the sound, so you'll have shifts in the frequency from low to high, and at the same time we'll have shifts in the pitch from low to high, and this interacts. It's gonna, create our effect. We're gonna add some other elements, and this will be our second approach to a performance effect. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the LFO page. We're gonna zero all these out, and we're gonna get ready to parameter lock this effect to scene A. So we're in track 4. Put a crossfader over to scene A. Hold down A, and then we're gonna dial in our effect with the LFO, the depth. That's shifting the pitch. This one's gonna shift the frequency and the pitch. And this one is gonna also shift some frequencies in the EQ as well. So it's a B state, no effect. Then the A state with the effect. We know when it's coming, but we don't know exactly what it's gonna land on, so there's our randomness. Alright, so now we're going to go on to a more traditional effect. We're going to do the beat repeat effect. And it's really easy to set up, so let's get into that real quick. And we'll add that to our pre-existing effect and make this a little more interesting. So let's hear the effect as is. So now let's set up our beat repeat effect. So we go to track 8, the master track, effects number 2, double click it to get into the delay. We're going to turn lock on. We're going to turn tape off. And let's go to our send. Got to let the sound back out. So now in order to turn this effect on, we need to turn the send to 0 basically. So we're going to hold A. And then we're going to turn send to 0. And then we can't hear anything because we also need to turn our feedback up. Little feedback's good for little echoes. You can dial in a little bit more. Longer echo. And for the beat repeat, full at 127, and it'll just loop indefinitely. So yeah, there's the beat repeat. So let's dig a little deeper into that. Hit function. You go down to the delay controls. And if you hold 16, which is the master channel, and you get divisions of beat repeat. So you have these delay controls for different divisions and multiplications of beat repeat. And then you also have the one that's on your crossfader. So that gives you some sonic options for, going to transitions to different sequences and just, performing live. Yo, my bad. I forgot to show y'all how to set up the master track when we were doing the setup. So I want to show you that real quick in case somebody needs to know that. So you hit project, control, audio, and then enable master track. And, we're back in there like swimwear. So yeah, my bad for forgetting that. So let's continue. All right, so now I'm going to show you the voltage controller way to do this. So I'm going to turn this parameter lock off the delay. We'll start it up again. Double click, go back to the delay settings. We're going to turn lock off. We're going to turn tape on. Now we got the delay on all the time with that long ass feedback. Let me go back to feedback and turn that down so we get a decent echo. Get different rhythmic effects. So we're gonna mess with the timing until we get something that's a little more to my liking. What I want to do is get into carpless territory, so we can have the best of both worlds from like our last effect that we did with the comb filter. Kind of get that energy, but we'll have way more options. I'll show you in a minute. I have more sonic options with the delay, doing it like this. Yeah, so I'm feeling that. So we're gonna turn that off. Go to scene A. We're gonna parameter lock that to A. So I'm gonna dial it in, see what sounds nice. So that's it, full 127 on the other effect. So that's it, dry. So now hold A, and we're gonna dial this parameter lock this in, and start adding on to this performance effect. A little bit more. Yeah, like that. So that's unaffected. That's affected. But see, now we have this whole palette of delays to use on the delay control page. Oops, I forgot to turn it on. Let me turn it back on. Here we go. See, so now you have all these sonic options, and yeah, you could just use this, in your production to treat your samples and carve out some new sounds, do some transitions, do some effects, And yeah, there you go. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back with more tutorials. Peace.